DeAndre Hopkins narrowed it down to the Chiefs and the Bills, not the Jets or the Patriots, for his new team via a head nod interview with Bryant McFadden. So, JT, which team would DeAndre Hopkins fit more with, the Chiefs or the Bills?
I think it's the Chiefs just because I think D Hop works better when he's a volume receiver. Like, I don't really know how effective he would be. Well, how efficient he would be playing next to Stephon Diggs, where they both got to split the target share. So
Right.
you plug him into KC, he basically takes over the targets that they've been trying to replace for Tyreek, and it's him and Travis Kelce. And I think that's a better fit.
I'm going to say KC as well. And this was funny to see DeAndre Hopkins go about it like this, because you hope that he's being truthful, because I feel like everyone in the league really wants to see D Hop go to the Chiefs or the Bills, just because the Chiefs, like, who doesn't want to see DeAndre Hopkins catch passes from Patrick Mahomes? Obviously, the Bills are right on the heels of the Chiefs, or so it feels like. Some people have said the Ravens. We heard Lamar talk about bringing DeAndre over. The Jets would be very interesting. Never really bought in on the Patriots, but of course, I'm going to say the Chiefs due to Patrick Mahomes, due to Andy Reid. I feel like they'll really be able to get everything out of him. I said a few weeks ago, I still think he's a top 5 guy in the league. If he's not top 5, he's definitely top 6 or 7. I mean, he's going to be up there with some of the best hands in the league. He's immediately wide receiver 1. You put him into, the system with Kansas City. It's a splash move for KC to further cement those back-to-back chips. Travis Kelce still going to get his attention, but bringing in a weapon, I firmly believe that that's the Chiefs' biggest need. And some people might disagree, because Mahomes just did it with a 7th-round running back and without a Tyreek Hill, and they recreate something out of a Kadarius Toney and a Juju Smith-Schuster. But I would love to see DeAndre Hopkins go here nonetheless. This is the best situation for him to win a ring, and he even said, I want a ring over money. And I even said it too. Look, DeAndre Hopkins, believe it or not, he's been in the league 10 years now.
A
He's
long
made
time, man.
Exactly. He's becoming an old receiver now. So he's like, okay, I've made my money. People know who I am. I played my ass off between Houston, Clemson, obviously some time with Arizona. I want to get my ring. I want to be talked about later on after my career is over with. And whether he won a ring or not, we all have the respect for DeAndre Hopkins. And, with Buffalo, there is Stephon Diggs, there is Dawson Knox, but I think there would be some competition for receptions, like you mentioned, with Stephon Diggs being there. And I don't think D Hop would mind that due to wanting a ring over money, but it just feels more clear cut. And I'm a little wary of Buffalo right now. I mean, we expect them to be so much. And the Bengals are realistically doing better than them, over the last 2 years. And that kind of shocks all of us. The Bills should have been there. It should have been won a Super Bowl, should have been to the biggest stage, but it's
It's okay. We don't have to beat around the bush about this. You can say it. Like, we're
what's up?
concerned about Josh Allen. That's what this is. I don't know why everybody's so afraid to say that. It's like, I don't
He's
know.
like, damn,
Buffalo
he's
might.
holding back, bro.
Yeah, we're weary about Buffalo. No, we're weary about number 17, and it ain't just us, because his own receiver is asking what the hell is going on. So, of course, I would go to Kansas City, because I know Mahomes is money.
Yeah. And I am like, I wasn't kind of, going through that statement just to kind of tiptoe around being worried about Josh Allen. Josh Allen has looked concerning in some big games for sure. You kind of get that early on with Mahomes and Reed. They were really leaning on Patrick Mahomes, but clearly they can do that. He's an anomaly. At some points when you had the Saints really leaning on Drew Brees, the Packers really leaning on Aaron Rodgers, and that was when it got, later into their careers. Josh Allen's still very young though. He's still on a major contract. He's still one of the elite quarterbacks, or we want to believe he's still in that elite tier of the league. But I want to see better, contribution out of that defense on a more consistent basis. I want to see better coaching out of Sean McDermott on a more consistent basis. I want to see more offensive weapons with Buffalo, because I mean, the Bengals are there. If Tua is not a question at quarterback, I think we're talking about Miami being better than Buffalo. Let's just be real. So it's not just Josh Allen that I'm necessarily caught up on, but do you think D Hop in year 10 actually moves the needle for a team to go further in, title game appearance, maybe the Super Bowl appearance?
That's tough, because I need to know what move the needle means. So when you sent me this question, this is how I looked at it. I think people are expecting, if D Hop goes to a team, he's basically gonna do what AJ Brown did for the Eagles, right? Is that fair?
Right.
That's fair to assume. Like,
Ironically, I
if
don't
that's the
feel like
question,
that's fair,
no.
because D Hop's 10 years in, you
Yeah, but
know?
I mean, people still think he's a top 5 receiver.
Right. Right, that's
No,
fair.
I don't think he's gonna move the needle much. He's not what he used to be, and to be
Yeah.
honest, I gotta see him really be that guy that I saw 3 years ago because
Yeah.
he hasn't been that way for injuries, you know. I just can't see him moving the needle that much.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a top 8 receiver. That's just me, but
Damn.
nah. There's
So if
5 there's a lot of guys I take over him.
yeah, I mean, you got D Hop, Jefferson, Jamar, Tyreek, and I mean, I just thought about it before. That's why I was like, yeah, I would,
DK,
yeah, DK. There you go. I mean, some people say Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's really come around. I mean, I know
Diggs,
there's
I
people out
take
there
over
that,
him.
yeah, Stephon Diggs as well. So yeah,
He's you know where he is? He's at the point
D Hop.
where yeah, he Diop's at the point where I'm like, do I like T Higgins better than him? And I have a because T
Damn.
Higgins is a stud.
He
Like
is.
let's
People forget about him because Jamar just came in and was like, "Fuck you guys, this is my team now." Jamar
but,
just took the top off as a rookie,
but
dude.
that's where I'm at. I'm like, is D Hop better than some of these younger guys? You brought up one, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, I think D Hop is better than
Monster.
him right now, but T
Yeah.
Higgins, I can't definitively say he's better than him.
Yeah.
Terry
Yeah, it's
McLaurin,
wait, what'd you
uh,
say?
Terry McLaurin,
Yeah, Scary Terry's fair though, because he's still very young. I was shocked because I was like, okay, people forget DeAndre Hopkins was like 2012, 2013 when he got drafted coming out of Clemson. Um, and he really balled out in Houston. I mean, from Brock Osweiler to Deshaun Watson to everything that happened with
to
D Hop.
Hoyer, not
Say
Hoyer.
again.
What's the other guy that was there? Is it Case Keenum?
God, I think so. I think there was a Brian Hoyer, but yeah, DeAndre Hopkins has had he's had quite a time in the NFL, and I was so excited because Kyler, one of my favorite players, hate that he had the non-contact injury, but I was stoked when DeAndre Hopkins went over to the Cardinals because I was like, one, that was a move I didn't really see happening, but two, Kyler took a leap. I don't know really if D Hop took a leap because the team felt better because DeAndre Hopkins showed up, and I feel you, it's not the same from when he went from Houston to Arizona because now he's going from Arizona, a couple of injury riddled years, like and like you said,
Steroids.
yeah, that's tough. I mean, you got Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in the first couple of years just destroying the league. Tyreek Hill didn't go anywhere. Um,
Devontae still there?
yep, absolutely. Devontae Adams is like, when you look at Devontae Adams, like just the level of consistency, like you put him up there with like how Julio Jones and AB were like that receiver for a stretch of like 8 to 10 years. Devontae Adams is just year by year cementing that. I mean, if he doesn't have turf toe just a few years back in one of his, last seasons with Rodgers, I think he has a really great stat line. But
But that hold on real quick. But
no, you're good.
that's why I said that I don't know if he can move the needle because if this were Devontae Adams going to the Chiefs, or like, yeah, like I'm going to Vegas and I'm
Oh
putting
hell
money on
yeah.
them for the Super Bowl. But they're similar in age. Like Devontae's still out there as a top 3 guy where
Yep.
D Hop were like, is he better than Terry McLaurin? Like, I don't
Right.
think he can move the needle if we're
Damn.
having that conversation.
Right. Because it's like I want to. Let me see real quick. I just
You
butchered
want to
that, but I
check
feel
their
like
ages.
Google. Yeah, Google know what I meant. I just butchered the hell out of that. Yeah, no, I'm just looking at seeing how long Devontae Adams has been in the league. He's been in since 2014. Um, geez, 3 straight years of 100 catches. I think it was 20. Yeah, if he doesn't get injured in 2019, I believe it is because he still had 83 catches, 997 yards. He's just an end zone freak. I mean,
Yeah.
87 touchdowns in 9 years. So, and he kind of has a career year when he goes over to the Raiders, who didn't look good at all. But yeah, it's interesting for D Hop, and I'm still a big fan. I hope no matter what he does, he goes to a team where he can get back to that 1,200, 1,300 yard receiver. I'm kind of on the fence on if he's still there, but
The
uh,
vol if he goes to a place where he can get volume, he can flirt with that. Because Michael
yeah,
Thomas could easily do that if he's getting 150
don't
targets
talk
a
to me about
season.
Michael Thomas. I've been telling people like,
Mike is back. I got faith. He's
okay,
back.
bro.
Mike is
I
back.
hope he is. Really hope Michael Thomas is back, but just I don't know. I don't know. We got a mock
You,
draft to get to. You go get.
fool me 3 times, it's over, right?
I guess, man. So sometimes you just got to learn when to move on. I feel like it's been time after time, season after season, and it's like, oh, funny. Derek Carr comes in. Now we're gonna restructure. Whatever. I mean, if Michael Thomas pops, I'm happy. I'm glad because I was literally it was my first Saints game in New Orleans, and I'm standing there and I'm like, Kamara or Thomas, Kamara or Thomas, Kamara or Thomas. And I'm just like, fuck, now Kamara's going through all this with the whole Las Vegas weekend. Michael Thomas hasn't played in years. I'm still glad I took the Kamara jersey, but anyways, yeah, kind of just took y'all down the path of buying a jersey. I'm real picky when it comes to stuff like that.